Welcome to the tutorial on how to make Flappy Bird-like games in Unity. I actually created the first video for this tutorial, but there was a power surge, my computer went off, I lost the video, it was corrupt, but I didn't lose the files, so right now, this is where I was last time when I was working on it. I'm going to go over everything I did in good detail, and that might take a portion of the video. I'm sorry that I'm not going to be making this one from exactly scratch, because it's about 15 minutes in. But just bear with me, and you'll perfectly understand what happened. So basically, using only the sprites in Unity by right-clicking, going to Create, and choosing Sprites, I was able to make this kind of land area. And I made the ground, which is which would be like one of these. I made it so the ground here is composed of one big green square and a bunch of little 2-unit wide lighter green squares. We're going to use that ground for the ceiling and the bottom of the frame, so it looks like this. Also, I made it so the ground moves, so when I play the game, we have the ground kind of shifting to the left. I gotta let it compile though. I'm really hoping there's not another power outage. But yeah, so the ground shifts to the left. And I did that using this ground move script I created. But while that loads up, I'll go over what the pipes are, and basically the pipe object is an empty that consists of these graphics inside of it for the two pipes, and these box collider 2Ds, I have two of them attached to these two things. So now when I move these, everything moves as one object. And the pipe has an origin in the middle, zeroed out at 0, 0, 0, but the objects within it are also moved around, so that way it goes around that origin. So now when we spawn in our pipes later, we just have to offset them by a Y. We can have our pipes move up or down based on that. That's the pipe object. There's no script on them yet. The only script is a script that makes the ground move and reset itself, which is extremely simple. You have your public float, your speed at which it moves, and then in our update we translate it to the left by our speed, and then when it's below or equal to -4 plus our speed, then it transforms it back to the origin. And the reason why we're doing that is because when we go into our game and play it, you'll see that the ground is moving, but then after it moves, it resets back, and it looks like it's constantly moving when it's actually really not. You zoom in here, there's no way to tell that it's not constantly moving because it looks perfect. If you zoom out, you'll see it's just moving a little bit down and shifting back. The reason why we add our speed onto it is because at -4, since it's moving by 0.05, once it reaches -4, if we reset it back, it's going to look exactly the same. You're going to have two frames that look the same, and it's going to give it a weird skip into it. So by offsetting it by a speed, we go from like the speed, the version right before it would look something like this, and then when we reset it, it goes to that. It's hard to explain, but trust me, when you're moving, you want to offset it by your speed. So just pause the video here, copy what I have, and then you'll have moving ground. That's how it works, really. And make sure that your speed, whatever you choose to be, make sure it can add up to 1, like a whole number. That's important. There you go, that's what we have so far. As for our pipes, we didn't actually get to work on them yet, and our color in the background is actually really ugly. Second thought, I might actually use some color palettes to make this game so it doesn't look too bad. I like that color a little bit better. Fits it better, much better. Anyways, so let's continue working on our game. We need it so our pipes will move to the left, and we could just attach the ground moving script to it, but that's just going to make it so it moves to the left and then moves back. So we're going to need to do a few things here. One, we're going to need to create a kill zone, which we actually used in a different video. I don't know if anyone's seen the shooter video, the shoot 'em up video. We had a kill zone in that, but we're going to use that. We're going to create a new empty and zero it out. We're going to add a physics 2D box collider, and we're going to make it stretched out pretty far in the Y direction. So we're just going to actually change our Y size, drag that up all the way. We're going to stick it somewhere back here. We want it so the ground will never actually touch it. That's pretty important, because our ground actually has to have a box collider on it as well. which I'm going to insert right now. Apply. There you go. If you can see our box collider here, it doesn't quite fit it yet. We're actually going to offset our X. My bad. We're going to size our X out until it fits it properly. There we go. Fits it perfectly. Press apply, and now we have our colliders in our ground. But anyways, for our kill zone, we're going to make that kill zone script. We're going to set it to a trigger. So basically, take our kill zone, call it kill zone. And this is our garbage dispenser. So anything scrolling to the left is going to get destroyed when it touches our kill zone instantly, regardless of what it is. So void on collision enter 2D. We're going to need to take our collision 2D. Actually, we're going to do on trigger enter because we're working with a trigger. So we're going to do trigger enter 2D, and we're going to make this be a collider 2D. Collider 2D. Call it col. And then we're just going to destroy whatever col is. So destroy col.gameObject. So anything that collides with it will break. And that's why our pipes actually need to be rigid body 2Ds now. Of course, without any sort of gravity on them. And we also want to constrain them to their Y and Z, because we're not ever going to be moving in the Y or Z axis. The reason we do that is so when we're scrolling our pipes back, the kill zone is only going to destroy what is a rigid body, and as you saw, it destroyed it when it went through it. If it's not a rigid body, it won't recognize it as something that can activate a trigger. That's a common mistake people make when they're trying to work with triggers. They try and make things that aren't triggers collide with it, and it doesn't work. So that's how you would do that. Now we can make our pipes actually move backwards, and we want it to move at the same speed as our triggers. So very simply, we're going to make a new pipe script. So file, add new script, we'll call it pipe. In our pipe script, not opening. Alright, here we are. Now within our pipe script, we want to make it so it moves at the same exact rate as our ground. So they look like they're attached when they're not really. Okay, so we want this to move by our speed. And we're just going to copy our update because there's no point of retyping this. Except we want to get rid of this if statement here. We just want it to transform to the left by our speed. And that will do. So now when we play our game, we can apply our pipe and set our speed to the same thing to that of our ground, which is 0.05. And when we play our game, we have a pipe, and it's actually moving with the screen. And now if we look at our other thing, once we get to the back here, our pipe will actually destroy itself when it gets to the right point. That's pretty cool. Now because they're both colliders and one of them is a physics rigid body collider, when we get to the end here, you'll see that the pipe wants to escape the ground, so it kind of like pops out. But that doesn't matter because we're not going to be able to see that anyways. So don't worry about that. We have a good working pipe now. It can't go up or down too. That's the other thing. It's constrained in the Y. So now we need to make it so our pipe will spawn at different levels based on where it's starting. So on our void start, we're going to say that our transform.position is going to be equal to a new vector 3, which is going to be your usual x, so transform.position.x. However, we want our y to be transform.position y plus or minus, in this case, plus a random range between a negative number and a positive number. And this is going to be how high or low our pipe can spawn. So we could say we want the highest point to be here, which is about 2, right? And the lowest point to be negative 2. So we could just put negative 2, comma 2. And that will add everything in between, and now our z would be 0. think I have insert on. No, I don't. Oh, my bad. I see what's wrong. And our Z will be 0. There we go. Now when we get into the game, the pipe should reposition itself based on a random number. That time it went a little bit lower. That time it went a lot lower. This time it went in the middle-ish. Time it went in the middle-ish again. Seems to only be going lower, but don't worry, it can go higher. I promise. We're just getting really unlucky. If I want to kind of boost our luck here, I can just copy a bunch of them in a row. And no, this isn't how we're going to make the game, although you could if you wanted to make it a set game every time. But as you can see, they're all different heights and such. They are getting pushed back though, which once again, don't worry about that. We're going to fix that right now actually. So we're going to take our pipe and we're going to delete our other ones first of all. We're going to set our pipe onto a layer called pipe. And we're going to set our ground onto a layer called ground. So now we can take our ground, put it on layer ground. Yes, change children plus apply. And now our other ground should be on the layer ground. And now we can choose our pipe, put it on the layer pipe. Yes, change children, press apply. And now if we go to our project settings and we look at our physics 2D, we can actually unselect the ground and pipe being able to collide. So now, when we play the game, our pipe should no longer get launched out of our ground when it reaches the end of our little assembly line thing here. So as it goes through, we get closer and closer to the end, and we don't launch out anymore. It still kills itself though, as it should. There you go. So I'm going to call an end to this video here. Keep them a little short, and just in case the power goes out again, I don't want to lose the video. So thanks for watching. Check out the next one, and we'll start making the character, because we're already basically done. We already have the pipe moving up or down and moving back. I mean, it's a really simple game, actually. A lot simpler than most games. So, tune in next time.